you're just like setting up these awesome segues for all of these myths. The second myth is that kids yoga is harmful. It's not. It's not. So it is true that we have to be more careful with kids yoga because of the physical and the biological differences between kids and adults. It is not true that kids yoga is harmful. So, and actually kids yoga aims to be the complete opposite of that. It aims to rejuvenate and relax the body, help you rest, not hurt you. It's true that some injury could happen during a yoga class. You can fall into a pose, you can run into another child while playing a yoga game, but yoga is no more harmful, I would argue less harmful than, dance class or football or gymnastics or soccer or whatever your kids are doing. It's no more harmful than any of those things. That said, there are two kinds of yoga that kids should avoid. And again, this is why we don't see kids at an adult yoga studio. So the first type is hot yoga. It's too hot. It's simply too hot. So kids' bodies biologically, their thermoregulation system doesn't work. It's not fully developed. So that means that their bodies don't regulate heat as well as ours do. Kids don't sweat. The younger child is, babies don't sweat, toddlers don't sweat, because their bodies they're incapable of doing that. So when you're in a hot yoga studio, when a child's in a hot yoga studio, their body can't tell them that they're too hot because they're not sweating. When we sweat as adults, that's how we know that we're hot, but kids don't. And so their body physically cannot tell them that they're overdoing it, that they're too tired, that they're too hot, which can lead to dehydration, overstretching of the muscles and the ligaments. It can be really, really harmful. Also, kids tire more easily than adults do, and hot yoga accelerates that process because they're overheating. They're probably not getting enough water because they don't recognize that they're overheating. And just the heat makes your muscles and your ligaments stretch a little bit more. So actually, a child's muscles, ligaments, and tendons are already stretched. So their bones grow faster than their ligaments do. I thought was a really interesting fact. So just because of that biological difference, their ligaments are already being stretched, and you put that into a hot yoga studio, and then it's way overstretching, and that is very, very dangerous. And the second type of yoga that a child should never do is yin yoga. So in yin yoga, poses are done seated or on your back or on your belly, and they're held for 3 to 5 minutes each. Typically, each pose is held for about that long, and then is way too long for a child to sit in one pose. First of all, have you ever seen a child sit for anything for that amount of time at one time? No, they can't sit for 3 minutes. And it's just this stretch on their growing bodies is just it's not safe for them to practice in yoga.
No, and I don't think it would be fun for them either. So if we go back to the purpose of doing something that they enjoy and practicing moving their bodies and learning about their bodies, and being more mindful of how their body works and what they're thinking, neither one of those would be enjoyable to them, even if they were safe. At least I don't think it would.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's okay. No, I was just going to say, I agree with that. I don't think a child would be having fun or even comfortable sitting for 3 minutes in one position, to slow music and relaxing. Kids don't relax. They run and they play and they jump. That's what they do all day. And then they go to bed at night and they get up the next morning and they do the exact same thing all over again. I mean, as adults, we don't do that. We need that time to relax. So yin yoga is fantastic. Personally, it's my favorite type of yoga to practice, but it just doesn't make sense for a kid to do that.
No, but it is really neat to see the kids running around and then use yoga to help them calm down and focus. That is one of the things I really enjoy. And we do a lot of ours at transition times when we're having a hard time getting ready for bed, or if we have, 5 more minutes until dinner is done or something like that. It really helps when they're really wound up or just really unfocused, to calm them down and shift gears to something else. So I do like that. And if we're not doing it for 5 minutes.
Even 5 minutes of yoga is enough for a kid. For adults, we go for an hour at a time or an hour and a half at a time. But a few minutes here and there is just
Right.
what kids need.